Well, well, that's a wrap for CES 2024. It's finally come to an end, thank goodness. My feet are exhausted. I'm ready to get back to Colorado. In fact, this week, at any single day here at the show, I've walked 2 times more steps than I have in any other day for the entire last 12 months. So we're talking about literally walking your legs off this entire week. Now, the one change I'm doing this year from past CES when we've been here covering the show is rather than doing a bunch of deep dive interviews, having people come onto the bus. In fact, the bus is not here. The mobile studio is not at CES this year. Can explain why the bus actually got damaged. It's in repairs. So we did not have the bus here, which forced a little bit of a change in the format. But also, rather than doing the deep dive interviews one-on-one where you had a full show per person, and let's face it, there are others who've already posted great deep dives, videos, and podcasts about the show. And I'm sure you can, if you're really into following those people, you've heard a lot of the great stories and things going on here at CES. So what I thought I would do this time around is I'm going to share with you my thoughts, a few of the top innovations that I saw, and spend more time talking about the trends that I think are going to impact the rest of 2024. So January is always CES, and it kind of sets the tone in some cases of what the next year is really going to be about. So without further ado, welcome to the CES 2024 wrap-up episode. Now, to give you a feel for the scope and scale of CES this year, the CTA, the association that runs CES, has stated that they've estimated that 130,000 people were in attendance at CES this year. Now, that is up since COVID. Last year, we had a little bit more. In 2021, it was like a ghost town. Most of the vendors did not show up. Very few attendees showed up. But if you go back prior to COVID, the high water mark for the show was 180,000 people. We're not quite back to that level, but I can tell you that there was a lot of energy here at this year's show. Now, it's interesting to note that the South Hall here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and the Las Vegas Convention Center is the largest convention center in the United States. In fact, it's the only location that can hold CES because the show is so big. But in this case, this year, the South Hall was not used. Another observation when walking around the show floor for 5 days, was that while there was an increase in the number of vendors showing, also with the increase of attendees, the show has clearly shifted to smaller booths for early stage companies. And so therefore, the feeling and the tone, there were still some of the big guys here, but in most cases, what we saw was an average booth size of being much, much smaller. You get to the edge of the show floor, and you're talking with much smaller companies and tech companies and manufacturers, device creators, those types of things. And so that was clearly evident here in the show. So what are some of the more interesting innovations on display? Look, the big consumer electronic companies were there to show off, and the biggest ones that are always here at CES are the ones that have the TVs. For instance, Samsung, as in the past, was talking up display quality and size. They put more emphasis on the use of AI to enhance their product lines. Now, they didn't have just TVs. They had their home products. They had a whole variety of use cases using Samsung technology, Samsung semiconductor, et cetera. But the emphasis for their booth is their TVs. Now, the announcement that generated significant buzz for the show was LG's announcement of their transparent display. I got more questions from people asking why a transparent display? Why is it so important? Now, there's been development in transparent displays in the LCD and OLED world for decades. Why? It allows you to use the display in places you've never considered. So, for instance, put a transparent display as the front window of a small business, like a bakery. Now, not only can you put up digital advertisements, but people can see through the display into the bakery, just like a window. So, and people on the outside can see in, and the people that are inside can see people outside just as if it were a window, but it also acts as a display. And so, therefore, transparent displays has been chased by the display industry for many years, and LG was here in force to show off their work in transparent displays. Now, at CES, there's always the battle for the largest TV at CES. This year, I saw a 180-inch display, 15 feet. And not sure how many homes can support such a large TV. I've always been surprised by the fascination with bigger is better strategies of the TV manufacturers. We'll just have to see what the future holds. Now, where I do see benefit from display technologies is in the gaming space. Gaming as an entertainment segment generates more revenue than TVs and movies industry combined, more than Hollywood, more than streaming, more than the TV space. Gaming is huge. And the display industry has been developing more and more technologies to take advantage of display technologies aimed at the gaming. Now, what I saw this year was an improvement in color, size, and refresh rate for gamers specifically, all of which has the benefit of being ergonomically better for those who play the games. Less eye strain, better posture, and just a better overall experience. Now, what would CES be without a look to the future? In this case, flying cars. Now, they didn't really have a flying car, but they created an experience here on the show floor that allowed people at the show to see and feel what that experience would be like in a full-size flying car that lifted them literally up off the show floor and moved around. And when you think about the Jetsons and flying cars, the one thing that can really throw a monkey wrench into the whole experience of a flying car is weather. Think about sometimes in an airplane and you're driving through bad weather. What's it going to be like with a flying car? Here at CES, there was a company showing a large globe that was displaying real-time weather everywhere in the world at that instant. You literally could see the weather in the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, over the oceans. It was amazing. It was mesmerizing. And then you can change what you wanted to look at. You could look at weather radar. You could look at snow depth. You could look at wind speeds around the world, ocean waves, and anything else you can think of. One area that I'm personally quite excited about is the advances in robotics. We've seen what they can do in warehouses and in manufacturing. But when will it become advanced enough to be useful in the home? Well, it's closer than you think. I was actually quite surprised. There were multiple companies here at the show that were demonstrating humanoid robots that were operating fully autonomously. They're clumsy, they take a long time climbing steps, those kinds of things. But trust me, the digital butler is not that far away. So, if I look back across the show, what are some of the general trends that I'm coming away with? Where do I think these trends are going to be over the next year, over 2024? Well, one is, and it's quite evident, AI, artificial intelligence, AI everywhere. Every company here at CES and every booth was highlighting that their product had some form of AI in it, including a demonstration that I saw at Showstoppers on Tuesday night that was a demonstration of an AI-enhanced toothbrush. It reminded me of the dot-com days where every company had to point out that their company was digital and online. AI has just been the buzzword for years. If you've looked at my videos, which I've done every year around CES for 20-some years back when I first took over as CTO at HP, the last 4 or 5 years, even pre-COVID, AI was starting to generate the buzz, and I just wasn't convinced that it was real. Well, it's becoming real. We've seen it with ChatGPT in the last year, and now you're seeing this manifest in every form of product that is out there. So AI, everybody's talking about it. I don't think it's going to be a differentiator for companies much anymore, not to be able to claim AI. I think where companies will differentiate is if they make the investment to create the training data specific for their use cases. That's where leaders will be made in 2024. Second trend, and this was based on conversations. I stopped and talked to people that were just working the booths all the way up to leaders within the companies that were here at the show, bringing out their latest products. And it's what I'm going to refer to as a tepid economic confidence. Everybody's kind of hedging. When I was talking with the companies at the show, most were attempting to put a big smile on their face on what the economic looks like, the economy is going to look like over the next year. But confidentially, they shared their nervousness about the economy, especially in Asia. And so fasten your seatbelts. I think we're going to see some changes both in hesitation in buying. We're going to see hesitation in employment. I think we're going to see hesitation, waiting to see traction with the consumers continuing to be willing and interested with discretionary income to buy the technology and innovations and gadgets that many of the companies here at CES are creating. Now, at the same time, a third trend I want to talk about is high innovation confidence. Everyone was sharing how excited they are about the future and the role innovation will play, especially the role innovation is going to play in transportation, smart cars, future of motorcycles, e-bikes. There was a whole plethora of companies here. Robotics, we've already talked about that. I'm a big believer in robotics, but we saw everything from robotic street sweepers to automobiles to autonomous window cleaners, pool cleaners, to humanoid robots, which I'm really excited about. AI, the innovation impact of AI, I don't think we've even dipped our toe in the water. I think AI will be transformative in the innovations that we will all have on our bodies, in our homes, in our vehicles, and in our jobs. I think also there's a lot of interest and excitement around security and privacy and the role AI can play, just given the security threats and cybercrime and frauding people. I think we're going to see a lot of interest. There was some interesting discussions happening in the hallway on that one. And then entertainment. I think there's things that are coming down the pipeline on entertainment that are just earth-shattering. But talking about entertainment, one experience I had that was absolutely mind-blowing here in Las Vegas was I got to host some people in a private suite over at the Sphere. The Sphere is the 1.3 billion, that's a B with a billion, facility that creates an immersive media experience here in Las Vegas. It's created and built by MSG, Madison Square Gardens. The dome-like experience is not like anything I or you have ever seen or experienced. It's not the dome theaters you have at your local museum. This is way beyond that. It hosts both recorded, such as films, and the film that we saw, which was a postcard from Earth, It was recorded in 16K by 16K resolution. So think of it as a 256K. So you think about you buying a 4K TV in your home. This would be the equivalent of a 256K display. And then, but they also do live experiences such as U2. The band plays periodically at the Sphere. I am confident that this will inspire innovators to rethink the future of entertainment. It's not a cheap ticket, but if this is an area of your job or your interest or things that you potentially want to go innovate in, I would encourage you to go to the Sphere and have that experience. Now, rumor is that they are looking to build more of these facilities around the world. And I'm telling you, it is worth it. You need to get into the Sphere and you need to try that out. So, well, that's a wrap for this year's CES. I hope you found this interesting, a little different than what I've done in past years. Hop into the comments and share your thoughts and impressions of the innovations and the trends that you think are going to come out in 2024. I have no issue and no problem if you're challenging me and you come out with a different set of trends that you think are important. Let's have that conversation. Post them in the comments. We will have future episodes with a few of the standout companies at CES, so stay tuned for future episodes of companies that I actually went to their booth and we did a full interview. And also, don't forget to subscribe. If you are not watching this on YouTube, you are missing out on seeing videos that I captured on everything that I talked about in today's episode. So hop over to my YouTube channel and see the video of the innovations at CES. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We'll be back next week with more discussions about innovation. Until then, step back, work on your ideas, turn them into breakthrough innovations, and change the world. Bye-bye from Las Vegas.